Hi everyone, I'm Patrice Berry and I'm here today with Emily Lee Hajec. She's a writer, author, and the founder of Story Makers Chico, a community writing hub for children and teens. Thank you so much for joining us today, Emily.
Thank you, Patrice. I'm so excited to be here and have the opportunity to chat about Story Makers. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So would you start by telling us a little bit about your background and how Story Makers got started?
Totally. First and foremost, I'm a mom. So mommy is my most important role. And my daughter, she's 8. She's in second grade. And so really she's kind of the motivation for me behind this mission. Anyone who's a parent who has had a second grader or who has one knows that this is just a really magical time for a child. They're really kind of coming into their independence and learning so much so fast. And so just kind of seeing her blossom this year has been just really amazing. Then traditionally, my education is as a teacher. So I taught high school English for a number of years. And in doing that, I kind of, I saw firsthand the struggles that students and children and teens have with writing. I was a new teacher, really excited, fresh out of college, and I was teaching a 12th grade senior level English class, and so many of my students, like, they just struggled. Like they literally had elementary level writing skills, and so that was really shocking and startling. And they loved writing. It was such an outlet for them, but they really struggled with it. So my background is that I'm a mom, I'm a former teacher, and now I've actually transitioned to being a professional writer. So I just see how important writing is, professionally, and then just creatively and for kids. So yeah, that's a little bit about my background.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Story Makers, what is the vision behind Story Makers and what are you hoping to accomplish with the organization?
Yeah. So Story Makers, just to give a little background, the goal of Story Makers is to bring free guided writing workshops to children and teens in Chico. And I don't want to dive too much into like what that's going to look like, but basically we want to give kids and teens a safe space where they can have, a small group setting, and whether they're, interested in writing creatively and they enjoy it, or whether they need extra support with writing, they can get it. At no cost is the goal, and in a small group setting to where they are connecting with their coach, teacher, mentor, and their peers, and they're able to write and put their thoughts on paper. Writing is incredibly impactful. It's incredibly empowering for kids to have a voice and to have a creative outlet. Research shows that people in general who can write even 15 minutes a day, it increases their overall like academic and mental well-being. So it's really important for kids to be able to have that creative outlet, but then also feel confident in their writing and have those connections with a mentor. So, um, I think especially with COVID happening and kids and teens being more isolated and not having the support from school, not every kid has someone in their corner who can look at their schoolwork and sit down with them and tell them like, hey, great job. Like, this is so cool what you wrote. This is great what you wrote. Let me look at your homework. Let me look at what you wrote today. And so I just feel like it's something the community really, really needs right now,
Mhm.
especially.
Absolutely. So Emily, you're emphasizing how important writing is in any field and to anybody. Can you talk to us a little bit about the mentorship that will be provided at Story Makers Chico?
Yes, absolutely. So the mentorship aspect of it is huge. Um, and yes, we are facilitating and fostering a love of writing and helping with students who academically need the support or are simply interested in writing. But equally important to our mission and our goal is that we are helping foster relationships with both peers and an adult role model who will be coaching and instructing the workshops. So we envision having between 5 and 10 kids per workshop, which is great because it's a super small environment, that really great ratio for building those relationships. And I just wanted to share a quick stat and some data that 75% of at-risk students and youth who had a mentor in their life did aspire to go to college. So that's very impactful. So you think about, kids in the community who maybe are struggling, who don't have a role model in their lives. When they do have that mentor, 75% studies show that 75% of those kids then want to go to college and want to pursue secondary education and graduate. So mentorship is a huge part of Story Makers.
Mhm. So, Emily, what inspired you to bring your idea to NVCF and to start a fund here?
Yeah, great question. North Valley Community Foundation is such a critical piece to the Chico community, both in the way that they respond and help during crisis, like with the campfire, but also their proactive role in just helping the community become stronger. And I think that I just innately have a lot of trust for the community, just watching, or trust for the community foundation, just in the way that they responded to the campfire. And initially, when I contacted North Valley Community Foundation, I just immediately felt like they listened to my idea, had a support system in place. They quickly responded to my questions. I've never started a nonprofit before. I didn't know what I was doing. And just the team as a whole was able to come together, hop on a Zoom meeting with me, talk to me about, what my options were, and just really guide me. Like I guided through the process. And then just the experience I had back in April when I published my children's book that was for a nonprofit purposes. North Valley Community Foundation totally helped me with that. And I felt completely comfortable choosing NVCF to donate the funds from the book that I published related to COVID and related to the situation that was going on. And they were able to really helped me. So I'm really excited to have North Valley Community Foundation on board for this project and super excited to be one of their incubator funds.
Yes, and so are we. And for those excited about Story Makers Fund, for those who would love to take part in making your mission happen, what can people do and how can they contribute?
Thank you for asking that. I'm hoping people are interested in learning more. And one of the ways they can do that is to visit our website, storymakerschico.org, and learn a little bit more about, our mission and what we're doing. If people in the community are interested in volunteering in the form of being a mentor or a coach, or have ideas about workshops and becoming involved in that way, they can definitely contact us through the website. Right now, our biggest barrier and our biggest obstacle is simply funding. If there's businesses or individuals in the community who feel like they can give to this cause, we would be so incredibly grateful. It's an amazing cause, but then also knowing that we are an incubator fund with North Valley Community Foundation. Donations are completely 100% tax deductible. And so businesses have the opportunity to give and then receive that tax deduction as well. So the best way to contact us is through our website. Also, NVCF on their fund page, we are listed. But again, if you go to our it'll link you directly back to North Valley Community Foundation, where individuals and businesses can make a donation to help us get the funding needed to move the project forward. So like I tell people all the time, we have a board consisting of 5 working parents who are committed and dedicated to moving this forward, but we need the help from the community to kind of put all the pieces together and from businesses who are able to give.
So Emily, thank you so much for joining me today for this little discussion. Really appreciate the work that you're doing to bring writing skills and just overall well-being to children and teens in the community. And we thank you here at NVCF for bringing your idea to us. So we appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Patrice. It's been so fun. I've enjoyed chatting about Story Makers. And again, thank you to North Valley Community Foundation just for their guidance and help along the way. I feel like I have someone in my corner helping me to kind of push the mission forward. So thank you so much.